It'll be tough for a half a day, and then we're done. And this has been tough for longer for us. Good. Good, because this is what life is about. You don't get to control the length of your adversity. All you get to do is control your attitude and your focus, and just work like heck to try and change it.
Breaking developments are shaking the foundation of Team USA basketball, and what started as whispers on social media has erupted into a full-blown conversation about power, respect, and who really controls the narrative in women's basketball. Multiple reports are circulating that Caitlin Clark has made a decisive stand regarding her future with the national team program, and the ripple effects allegedly include Coach Kara Lawson stepping away from her role. Now, before we go further, let's be crystal clear about something. We're dealing with unnamed sources, fan speculation, and media reports that haven't been officially confirmed by USA Basketball or any of the players involved. But here's why this story matters anyway. The pattern these rumors follow isn't random. They're built on real frustrations, documented tension, and a growing divide between how Team USA markets its stars and how those same stars say they're being treated behind closed doors. You've been commenting for months about the disconnect. You've been asking why the player who broke every viewership record, who brought millions of new fans to women's basketball, seemed to be getting benched, sidelined, and treated like an afterthought during international play. Many of you have been saying this for weeks. Something didn't add up. And now these reports, whether fully accurate or not, are forcing everyone to confront the possibility that your instincts were right. This isn't just about one player feeling disrespected. This is about a culture inside elite basketball that may have prioritized politics and hierarchy over merit and fairness. If you believe the story behind the story matters, if you think athletes deserve transparency about how decisions get made, smash that like button right now. It tells us we're on the right track, and it signals to the algorithm that this conversation needs to reach more people. Let's walk through what we know, what's being reported, and why the stakes here go far beyond basketball. From the moment Caitlin Clark suited up for Team USA, the optics were historic. She wasn't just another talented guard getting a call-up. She was the phenomenon who had single-handedly shifted the economics of women's basketball. Ratings followed her. Merchandise sales exploded. Casual fans who had never watched a WNBA game suddenly knew her name, her number, and her story. The numbers don't lie. When Caitlin played, viewership spiked. When she sat, engagement dropped. Social media buzz centered around her highlights. Sponsors paid attention. The entire ecosystem bent toward her gravitational pull. And yet, according to the circulating reports and accounts from people claiming to be close to the situation, the environment inside Team USA never reflected that reality. Sources allege that Caitlin was repeatedly benched during crucial moments without clear explanation, that her input during team meetings and CBA discussions was minimized or redirected, that when she asked questions or tried to contribute to broader conversations about the future of women's basketball, the response felt dismissive. Reading between the lines of these reports, it sounds like she was expected to carry the burden of being the face of the program without being given the respect, autonomy, or voice that usually comes with that role. One of the most symbolic flashpoints, at least in the eyes of fans tracking every detail, was the jersey number situation. Caitlin's number has become part of her identity. It's on merchandise. It's what fans chant. It's woven into her brand. And yet, reports suggest she was told to wear a different number for Team USA. To some people, that might seem like a minor administrative detail. But to players and the people who followed this closely, it looked like a power move. A way of saying, we decide who you are here. Your identity outside this program doesn't matter inside these walls. Let's filter out the noise for a second and focus on the logic. If Caitlin Clark is the player bringing unprecedented attention to women's basketball, if her presence alone changes the commercial equation, why would any organization treat her like a replaceable part? The answer according to these reports, comes down to jealousy, entitlement, and a rigid hierarchy that couldn't adapt when a new kind of star walked through the door. Multiple sources describe a season filled with mixed signals. Publicly, Caitlin was praised. Privately, she was allegedly managed, controlled, and kept at arm's length from real decision-making power. She was supposed to smile for the cameras, accept whatever role was handed to her, and never push back. That's not leadership, that's manipulation. And if these accounts are even partially true, it means the same organization that wanted to capitalize on her fan base, her influence, and her marketability was simultaneously working to diminish her voice and limit her agency. You were onto something when you noticed the contradictions, when you pointed out that the player driving all the attention wasn't getting the playing time, when you questioned why someone with her impact seemed to be treated like a rookie who needed to earn her spot, even though she'd already earned it 10 times over in front of the entire world. The reports suggest that over time, Caitlin's frustration evolved from quiet disappointment into something heavier. She tried to make it work. She stayed professional. She kept her focus on basketball, even as the emotional strain built up. But eventually, according to these accounts, she reached a breaking point after yet another sequence of decisions that left her feeling sidelined, pressured, and backed into corners she didn't agree with, both on the court and in broader team discussions. Caitlin allegedly made a deliberate, emotionally difficult choice. She communicated to people inside the program that she could no longer remain part of a system that treated her like a chess piece instead of a human being with a voice, emotions, and boundaries. We're getting into rumor territory here, but sources suggest she told leadership she was done being treated like a logo, a talking point, or a marketing tool. That this wasn't a snap decision born out of anger. It was the product of months, maybe years, of trying to navigate an environment that was never designed to respect her fully. When that decision became known internally, multiple insiders say it sent shockwaves through USA basketball. The question wasn't just, how do we replace a player like this? It was, how did we let it get this far? How did we alienate the most important commercial force in women's basketball? And that's where Kara Lawson's name enters the conversation in a major way. Kara Lawson is widely respected across women's basketball. Players trust her. Coaches admire her. Fans recognize her as someone who built her career around integrity, player development, and honest communication. She's not someone who chases headlines or makes impulsive decisions. So when reports started circulating that she had resigned from her Team USA role shortly after Caitlin's alleged decision, people immediately understood the significance. This wasn't just two separate events happening at the same time. The timing, the context, and Lawson's reputation all pointed to a deeper connection. According to these reports and insider commentary, Lawson did not agree with how Caitlin had been treated over time. She reportedly felt that the internal culture had drifted away from player-first principles and into a place where politics, favoritism, and entrenched power structures mattered more than fairness and merit. Now, we don't have Kara Lawson's direct words confirming any of this, but sources close to the situation suggest she reached a point where she could no longer stand behind decisions that consistently left top talent feeling isolated, unheard, or manipulated. Her resignation in that context wasn't just a career move. It was a statement. It was her way of saying, I can't be part of this anymore. If these accounts are accurate, Lawson walking away signals that this situation goes far beyond one frustrated player or one tense conversation. It points to systemic issues about how stars are managed, how conflict is handled, and how much respect players truly have within Team USA's internal decision-making structure. Lawson was seen as a bridge between players and leadership, someone who understood both sides and could translate between competing interests. If even she'd decided she could no longer be part of the machine, that's a massive red flag for anyone paying attention. The fallout has been immediate and intense. Inside Team USA, sources describe an atmosphere of confusion, defensiveness, and damage control. With Caitlin reportedly drawing a line and Lawson walking away, the leadership group is under more scrutiny than they've faced in years. Questions are piling up faster than anyone can answer them. Who made the key decisions around rotations, jersey numbers, and messaging? Who refused to adjust even as backlash grew louder? Who, if anyone, tried to fix the situation before it exploded into public view? And most importantly, what does this say about the culture inside an organization that's supposed to represent the best of American basketball? Outside the organization, the reaction has been even louder. Social media erupted the second these reports started circulating. Hashtags calling for respect, accountability, and transparency began trending immediately. Fans are demanding answers. They want to know why one of the most important players in the sport felt disrespected enough to take a stand. They want to know why a respected coach like Lawson felt she had to resign rather than fight from the inside. Connecting the dots reveals a pattern that goes beyond individual personalities or isolated incidents. This is about whether Team USA's culture is really as unified, progressive, and player-centered as the branding suggests, or whether there's a significant gap between the image they project and the reality players experience. If you've been following this closely, drop a comment right now with your thoughts. Do you think Caitlin was right to draw a line? Do you believe Kara Lawson's resignation proves there are deeper problems inside the program? What changes do you think need to happen? Your perspective matters. And the more engagement this conversation gets, the harder it becomes for leadership to ignore. Sponsors and corporate partners are watching this situation very closely, too. Whether people like it or not, Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She is one of the key commercial engines driving modern women's basketball forward. Any organization that appears to push her away, minimize her voice, or treat her as expendable will inevitably raise questions from brands that invested specifically in her presence, her influence, and her ability to bring massive audiences with her.
You can't accept it, but you're willing to try to capitalize off of her. You can't accept the fact that she has the biggest fan base, but you can try to make money off of her. Y'all can go collect money with Project B. Y'all can go do all of this stuff.
If players like Caitlin don't feel safe, respected, or heard in the national team environment, that perception doesn't just hurt feelings or create awkward press conferences. It threatens long-term trust. It makes future stars think twice before committing. It sends a message that no matter how much value you bring, the system will always prioritize control over collaboration. Basketball analysts and leadership experts have started weighing in, and many of them are pointing out that this whole situation exposes deeper structural problems that have been hiding in plain sight for years. Over-reliance on unspoken hierarchies, entrenched favoritism that rewards tenure over talent, a lack of proactive communication that leaves players guessing about their roles and their value, and a resistance to change that makes it nearly impossible to adapt when a new kind of star walks in, especially one who brings not just elite talent, but massive cultural weight and commercial power. When a program is so used to doing things a certain way, it can struggle to recognize when the landscape has shifted. Ignoring that reality isn't just stubborn or old-fashioned, it's dangerous. It risks alienating the very people who make the program special. Caitlin Clark's reported stand has put all of this under a spotlight that can't be turned off. She didn't just walk away from a bad rotation or an uncomfortable team meeting. She potentially walked away from an entire dynamic that reduced her to a symbol while refusing to treat her like a full person with agency, opinions, and boundaries. Kara Lawson's resignation doubles down on that message. If respected coaches with decades of credibility are stepping away over principles, then something is fundamentally misaligned inside the system. The implications stretch far beyond the immediate roster adjustments and PR damage control. In the short term, yes, Team USA has to fix its lineup, recalibrate roles, and stabilize leadership before the next major international competition. But the real consequences go much deeper and will play out over years, not weeks. Other star players, both current and future, are watching how this plays out. They're watching whether Caitlin gets vilified for standing up for herself or respected for setting a boundary. They're watching whether Lawson's resignation leads to meaningful structural change or just a quiet replacement with someone more willing to go along. They're deciding whether Team USA is a place that truly values their well-being, their voices, and their humanity, or whether it's just interested in their ability to win gold medals and generate positive headlines. This moment could fundamentally reshape how Team USA handles player relations, contract negotiations, communication protocols, and leadership accountability for years to come. If the organization takes this as a genuine wake-up call, listens to players without being defensive, and rebuilds trust from the ground up, it could come out of this stronger, more modern, and better aligned with the realities of today's game. If it doesn't, if leadership doubles down on old habits and dismisses these concerns as overblown drama, it risks alienating the very stars who make the program worth watching in the first place. At its core, this is a pivotal moment for women's basketball that goes far beyond one team or one competition cycle. Caitlin Clark has reportedly chosen to stand up for herself in a system that tried to control her image while dismissing her voice. Kara Lawson, by stepping down, has signaled that even respected insiders won't co-sign that treatment forever. Whether you believe every detail of these reports or think some parts are exaggerated, the bigger message is impossible to ignore. Respect is no longer negotiable. Players are not just assets to be managed or logos to be marketed. They are people. They bring value, emotion, leadership, vulnerability, and humanity to everything they do. When that humanity gets ignored or minimized, the consequences are no longer quiet or containable. They're public, they're loud, and they force everyone to pick a side. Team USA is now at a crossroads. It can cling to old habits, protect the hierarchy, and hope this blows over, or it can admit mistakes, listen to its players with genuine openness, and rebuild trust from the inside out. Fans, players, sponsors, and media are all watching, and they're not going to forget how this moment gets handled. If you support Caitlin Clark, if you believe players deserve respect, fairness, and a real voice in the systems they power, make your voice heard right now. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next development in this story. Share this video with other fans of women's basketball who need to see what's really happening behind the carefully managed press releases. The future of the game is being shaped right now, in real time. And your engagement, your comments, your willingness to stand behind these athletes matters more than ever. We'll be here covering every twist, every reaction, and every consequence as this story continues to unfold. The conversation is just getting started.